we're going to go straight into the next one now, which is going to be Shaun from Adobe. He's a seasoned marketer and architect lead with 20 years of experience leading huge enterprise transformations. He leads marketing for Adobe Commerce across EMEA, and today he's going to give us a tour through
we've lost the clicker. Woo!
Adobe Optimizer.
That would have been a very short presentation. Thank you very much.
Anyway, everyone, big round of applause for Shaun.
Hey everyone, good to see you again. Yeah, I'm still Shaun. So we're going to crack on with this one. Have a look at what Commerce Optimizer is, what it does, how it works, and the proposition that we think it fills in the market. We don't normally do random Q&A, but if you've got any questions, shout out. Not the Adobe team. If you've got questions, you should know it already. So, Adobe Commerce Optimizer. Again, customer feedback on what they're experiencing. What are people seeing, right? We can't re-platform. Nobody wants to re-platform. People don't want to do that. That's not fun. It's not exciting. Nobody has a strategic goal of re-platforming. I challenge any of you to find a C-level customer that said, hey, what we really want to do this year is re-platform. They've all got the same KPIs, right? They all want to drive growth. They all want to drive new businesses. They typically want to go live in new markets, new types of organization, targeting different audiences, particularly because organizations such as Adobe have been talking about personalization and business growth for a long time. They all want to go do that. Sometimes they're just incredibly hampered on how they do that. It's really difficult to do that when you've got a solution that's built for a certain purpose and doesn't have growth at its heart as a central kind of principle, either architecturally or how it was put together as a business. So re-platform, not a good thing. Because everyone's after more traffic, right? You've really got traffic and conversion. They're your two metrics. That's what drives your revenue. So how do you grow that? How do you fight for the same marketplace you already had? How do you maintain your existing market share? I think I've lost count of the number of calls. And I've gone, what's your key drive? We want to maintain our existing market share. And it's a race to spend more on SEO. That's not a sustainable model. Nobody wants to do that. When your SEO costs are spiraling, how do you control that? How do you make sure that's something that you keep an eye on rather than just winning by spending, because that's not sustainable for anybody. A lot of the time, because we're pushing higher and higher catalog sizes and growth, more regions, more countries, more business models means more products. So managing a greater set of products is a hard task to keep up to date, to manage in an effective way. If I say to you, hey, why don't you have product sets that match each audience type? Well, great, but now I've just given you a new business problem. Because you might go, right, I've got 15, 20 key segments of audience. How do I tailor my products to those audiences? That's a hard task. Maybe I can't do that right now. Maybe I've got one giant melting pot of products coming from a PIM or a CRM or 2 or 3 different places. Often multiple PIMs, depending on the size of the customer and how they've grown through acquisition. So lots of interesting problems customers are telling us about. And again, this all goes back, you probably saw this one earlier, all goes back to that storefront being that central experience point, right? Adobe's an experience business, regardless of whether or not we're talking about Experience Manager or Adobe Commerce or Analytics or Target. It's all about how the experience drives the engagement. Engagement drives loyalty, and loyalty is repeat purchases. I don't want one and done as a customer. I want to build a loyal customer base that knows I know who I am. I can show them that I know who they are, right? Principle, show me you know me. Then I'm loyal, I will come back, I will buy again. That's the goal, across B2C and B2B. But then also the demands on content generation. Static content, web content, product content, personalization around those products. Can you take each product you have and completely personalize it for that audience, either regionally, demographically, based on previous purchasing history? And that also goes for offers. How do you do that at scale? This isn't just manual. I don't want to have a team of 10 people. If you go, I can scale up by hiring 10 more headcount, that's not sustainable either. So generative AI comes in there, right? And AI is a bit of it's really cool, but how do we use it? How do we do it effectively? That's one of those key things. So this is where Optimizer comes in. It's effectively an interesting way of, again, I touched on this earlier, but delivering Adobe class experiences, and I'm not shy about that. Our experiences are amazing. We get a lot of awards for them. People enjoy them. They're fast to create, fast to deliver, fast to experience, high premium quality. The UI tools are extremely effective. The content creation and integration into things like AEM assets and other sources of content, we've spent a lot of time and money building that world. And most of you are aware, Adobe was a content creation engine before it was a commerce engine. So we've lent heavily on that side. My boss owns both those parts of that business. So it's been really easy to phone her up and go, hey, how's about hijacking some of those great content methods you've got, putting them in commerce, which is what we're doing with some of these products. So again, deliver modern storefront experiences without replatforming. That's really key, and sometimes there's a bit of a gray area. This doesn't have a commerce engine behind it. It requires a commerce platform underneath that. And that can be open source, it can be platform as a service, existing commerce cloud. It can be commerce tools, Shopify, Salesforce, custom build. We've got about 20 customers in the middle of early adopter for this. This goes GA in about 3 weeks. And it's about 20 different customers all in the process of building out this new solution on top of their existing solution. 2 of them are Adobe Commerce as a cloud service, the new solution. There's a whole bunch of HCL, there's a whole bunch of SAP, there's a whole bunch of Salesforce. There's a lot of self-build out there. People have built their own commerce platform and are now kind of going, how do I grow this past the boundaries it's naturally got? Because when we built it for the size company we were then, but now we're not that company anymore. Now we're much bigger. We need to scale. And again, it's customization across your product catalog and business, and it's all about search engine rankings and that organic growth. How do you drive that traffic to your site and then convert them effectively? But with multiple catalog ingestions. So take all my catalog information, put it in one place. In the product itself, most of you are probably like, well, Adobe has a whole suite of DX solutions, and typically there's kind of, hey, we want to, in a buying scenario, you buy commerce, you buy analytics, you buy target, you build those things together. In this case, this is all in one product. So this is no crossover. This is included as the product set. So our storefront powered by Edge Delivery, super fast storefront experiences, product visuals powered by AM Assets, so it's an enterprise level DAM, asset management, and it's got Adobe Express and Adobe Firefly. None of you have tried Firefly before? Everyone familiar with Adobe Firefly? No? Firefly.adobe.com. Go there in a browser. Prompt-based. You type in cat in space on a telephone, and it will generate an image of a cat in space on a telephone. You can lose whole afternoons to it. And if you've got children, you go, hey, try this. And they actually never get your laptop back, right? Because they're just generating random images through Firefly. That's embedded in the UI. And the way we've approached this is, people always hated Clippy. You're all familiar with Clippy. If you're really young, you don't know what Clippy is, because Microsoft killed it. The really good thing about Clippy, the one good thing about Clippy, other than his little cute face, was the idea that he was embedded in the workflow. So he was right there. You didn't have to go somewhere else. So again, what we've done with all of these products is they're all integrated into that one solution, so that when you're in the UI making a web page and you want to pull in an asset, click a button and it's right there, and you push it in. There's no moving around. There's no hot desking. This is an integrated, seamless journey for a user to be able to click through all these things and build the experiences they want to build. Again, merchandising services, which is things like product recommendations, live search, which we're now calling product discovery, and our catalog service, which we'll look at in just a second. It's an extremely flexible catalog service that allows you to model your business in the way you want to in the catalog. So even if you've got an extremely complex business, multiple business units, multiple sets of products, they all fit in there in an easy way, allow you to surface them to different channels exactly how you want. App developer, app builder with API mesh. Again, this is our answer to don't layer your product with loads of plugins. Don't customize the core, because you're creating debt, and then the upgrade becomes difficult. So this is what we call out-of-process extensibility. If any of you are kind of middleware architects, this is all about building services that run in the cloud and they use APIs. The whole composable middleware. It insulates your product from other product changes, and it insulates other products from things going on in the core. So it's a really seamless way of making sure that, slightly dangerously, you can rip and replace that commerce product really easily. So if you're not working well, you can unplug it. No one else around you knows that you've unplugged it and put something else in. That's the whole point of that composable architecture. And App Builder is perfect for that. And then what we have is before and after metrics. Those two are kind of the same thing at the bottom. Before and after. So we can launch a page at 100 Lighthouse score across the board. Fast is good. Everyone likes fast. But it's actually, the fast part is less relevant. It's actually the business results it's delivering, right? It's that organic traffic and it's that conversion. No one's got a goal of having a Lighthouse score of 100. That's not anyone's strategic goal. What they do have is revenue growth and organic traffic targets. How do I increase my traffic by 25, 30%, or 3 times, or whatever that number is? The problem you've got then is how do I manage it? How do I make sure it stays fast? So we've got a whole new set of reporting and dashboard information now, which is, I've just done an A/B test. Has my performance dropped? Or look at my existing web page. Maybe there's something wrong that's not working there that's going to push me up the Google rankings. Or maybe there's a technical issue. Maybe there's something else coming that's going to do that. So real-time AI-driven insights to show you what your storefront performance is across the life of changes, which is really key. Same view, really, same thing. Slightly less interesting looking. Thought I'd taken out, to be honest. Simple kind of conceptual architecture view in the way that what you effectively do is you ingest all of your product information from one or multiple sources, any catalog source. We've got customers using PIMs, commerce solutions, CRMs, in one case, file store, managing over 200,000 products in Excel. Oh my God, blew my mind, right? But you ingest them all into the catalog, and you add things like the merchandising services, product discovery, product recommendations, and then you push that out to the storefront effectively. You can see quite clearly Adobe Solutions, not Adobe Solutions. And then you've got a whole set of assets and visuals and generate variations. Generate variations is A/B testing at volume, either parts of a page A/B testing or full page A/B testing, again, at volume. I'm not saying, oh, we'll take a page and do 2 versions. Take a page and do 100 versions, and you tag those 100 versions with keywords. When I come off Google with a UTM keyword, it gives you the page that's tagged with the same thing. So it's contextual page matching. If I like surfing and there's a link off Google for that, it's going to give me the surfing page. I'm already connected in a contextual way, so there's more chance of me being engaged, and engagement will lead to that conversion. And then it connects up to your existing cart and checkout. There's a handover there. We don't process the checkout. I don't want the checkout. I'm just doing the funnel. Yeah? You can go all the way across the checkout if you really want to, but that's not the strategy. And then we look at Optimizer and before and after metrics, AI-driven insights. How can you optimize that further? What trends are we seeing? Is there a flow where people get through a certain part of your funnel and stop or fall apart? Or is there an issue on a certain page? Certain form field, that's where the exciting stuff comes in, where, again, you can use AI to look at the experiences people are having across the front end and highlight both technical performance issues and actually experiential performance issues and allow you to fix that. There's a couple of variations on that product that allow you to either click a button and fix it, or it'll fix it for you, depending on how much you want to trust AI services. So that's a kind of high-level architectural view of how that comes together. What are people doing with it? 5 different motions right now that are happening across our customers. Different scenarios. It's quite a flexible solution to fit across any other commerce product. So there's a lot of different interesting ways of doing this. When I first started talking about this in maybe February time, there were really only 1 or 2 of these. And as we talked to more and more customers, we did Adobe Summit, we looked at different customer bases, more of these came out of the woodwork. From smaller scale to larger scale. So example, if you're looking at Adobe Commerce as a cloud service, our full stack SaaS solution, Adobe Commerce Optimizer is a good way of moving from platform as a service to SaaS, past to SaaS effectively. It's almost like a patch that will go between the two. If you can migrate your storefront and migrate to App Builder, you're halfway to a SaaS solution anyway. Makes the full transition a lot quicker, a lot easier. Right? You've got Adobe Experience Manager, and maybe you've got Salesforce Commerce or something else, but you're an AEM customer. How do you get your CMS experience on top of those other commerce platforms? That's Commerce Optimizer, because you've got a catalog there. So with AEM plus a catalog, you're able to transition AEM across any other commerce platform you want. That's if you're already embedded in the Experience Manager world. Yeah? And then modernizing storefronts on existing platforms. We're stuck. Maybe we can't do things. A number of customers I've spoken to particularly want to go, oh, we're a B2B customer, a wood merchant. They create B2B products in the wood space, industrial wood, effectively. We want to prototype products quickly and easily. We don't want to actually make them. We just want to prototype them, stick up 3 pages on a site, and then see if they'll sell. Exactly that sort of scenario. Stuff you can do in a day is now point and click, and it's done. The pages are up, the products are in there. Very easy to prototype those kind of things. All the way up to this one, harmonizing catalogs and storefronts. Spoke to a customer recently, operating across 26 different countries, 4 different commerce backends, Adobe Commerce being one of them, 3 other commerce vendors in there. 26 countries, all with different experiences. And that's a story of acquisition. They're a 40-year-old company. They've acquired different customer bases, different organizations. They've grown organically. But they don't want a different experience across every single country. That's not right for their customers. So they're going to put Commerce Optimizer in and provide a unified experience across all 26 of those countries. So Adobe Commerce Optimizer across 4 different commerce backends. Because why would the customer care what the backend is? Why are they getting a different experience based on the fact that one of them might be Salesforce, one of them might be Adobe? Doesn't matter for the customer, right? They want that premium experience, whichever country they happen to be in. And the branding and everything else will all come together under one seamless thing. Because right now it's all fractured and fragmented, and that's his biggest problem. Again, that guy, really good conversation with him at Summit. His goal is not to take out 3 of those products. That's just time and cost he doesn't have. His goal is to actually drive experiences across his customer base. So this suddenly gives him an option to be able to do that where he couldn't before. It's quite an interesting way to look at it. So, again, some numbers. We're looking at 90+ Lighthouse scores, our edge delivery system. If you haven't seen it, go and have a quick look, do a quick Google search for Adobe Commerce Storefront. It's all based on edge delivery. It's got a nice UI for content, drag and drop. There's a couple of different ways you can create content ridiculously fast. It starts at 100. I'm an old school developer where you would build something, test it, and go, that's a bit slow, and you would try and test and improve. It's the house analogy, right? You build a house, you get to the roof, you go, the foundation's a bit broke. How do I fix it? If you're trying to improve performance as you build a storefront, you're never going to get to 100. You have to start there. So our template system, the boilerplate you can go download, it's on GitHub. You can just go search for it, download it, give it a try, right? It's not even a licensed product. You can just go and have a look and give it a try. Absolutely available to you right now. When you run it out of the box, vanilla, it's 100 already. It's already running at Lighthouse scores 100 across the board. And that's why often some of these conversations will come in the way that a partner such as yourself will walk into a room and go, hey, here's your existing homepage. We've rebuilt it on Edge. Took about a day. It's running at 100. What's yours running at? 25? Okay. You can spend hundreds of thousands of pounds trying to improve that from 25 to 100. You're never going to get there because the fundamental architecture is wrong from the start, the way that's built. With Edge, it starts there and it stays at that point. So it's key to that. And that's what drives the traffic, right? That's what drives the growth. And again, new visual editor. Everything's nice and slick. It's all working really well. We've got a team here. They can show you this. I think we've got a booth. There's 2 or 3 different ways of creating content. Super slick, modern UI. Again, if this is play, there we go. Going to play. There's 2 or 3 different ways of creating this content. You can simulate it in responsive design. You can publish it in a multiple different varieties. So it's a really modern, experience-driven process. You can still do what we were talking about last year, which is document authoring. Business people like document authoring. Content writers like document authoring. It effectively looks like a white page. It looks like Microsoft Word. No longer Microsoft Word. It's actually part of this universal editor. But it gives people the flexibility to create content the way they want to create content. We've had some customers that have massively reduced their value chain to create content from start to finish in the way that their copywriters used to write things. Basically, we looked at this authoring process and went, there's 10 people in this process, and most of them are doing things in Word, and at the end, they're copying it into a CMS. Why are we doing that? Why have we added all these steps? Why don't we re-engineer this so that a copywriter can actually be a content creator, so that people are empowered to create the content they want when they want to create it? So that's what this UI does. And again, that's one of the reasons that merchandising productivity is through the roof with this, because people have got business control to create the pages and content they want. They can go in, use Firefly to create images, product images, assets. I want to add things. We did the video on the website currently, adobe.com/business/commerce. Just things like sunglasses. Highlight an area, put some sunglasses there, create variations, create regional variations. I spoke to a shoe retailer recently, and they only, low end, about 9,000 products in a promotion. Want to do that for Valentine's Day. How do you do that normally? Bunch of graduates. We changed the background on 9,000 images with graduates. That's a bad place to be, right? Well, this solution, you build the background you want using AI, and you go, there's my product set, bang, do it. 5 minutes later, 9,000 products, new background. Because that's what AI can do for you. And you've got to, I'm sure you're all experienced in that space, you've got to make those use cases real for people, otherwise AI is just a nice theoretical thing that doesn't really add any business value. But you can free up the people to do the human stuff, right? I once started an AI talk with a picture of Terminator and Skynet and jokingly went, AI's coming for our jobs, and everyone just went, oh my God. They didn't really get the whole sarcasm. But that's the point with AI, right? It's missing the human element. You still need the intelligence. It's a workhorse, and it can help free your people up to do the human things, but it's not intelligently thinking for you. Don't trust it. It's going to take the power that you can give it and the information you can give it and give you good results, but it needs your people to be switched on. You can shift your people to be strategic and do the thinking rather than clicking the buttons and changing 9,000 background images. So that's the key thing for that. And that's what we talk about with this, right? Set up a control page, create a variation. You can have as many variations as you want, and then the best one wins. And you can simulate them, so you can experience it as if you were the customer. And this is super easy A/B testing. If you speak to a customer, go speak to your customer, go, how long does it take you to do an A/B test? If it's any more than 20 minutes, you've got a problem, because it shouldn't be. That's how long it should take you to be able to do those things. And there's no difference between creating 1 variation page and 100 variation pages, because it's an AI-driven engine. The scale doesn't matter. You're not hampered by, I want to do 3, so it's going to take me an hour. I want to do 6, so it's going to be 2 hours. The whole point is you create as many as you want, and then they rank for the winning ones. You can push your conversion up with AI winning experiences. And again, we touched on this earlier, but assets, the whole workflow process, we have something called content supply chain. This is a variation on that called the product supply chain. How do your products go live? Have you got multiple agencies all creating product images or brands sending you things? Have you got a synergized process for how you onboard those products and images, how you ingest them into one place? I often speak to a company and they go, we've got 3 agencies all putting zip files here and using Dropbox, and that's a horribly fragmented system that's just slowing you down. Your agility is gone. You've got teams managing manual processes. So something like assets is perfect for making sure that people not only know where things are, but they can find them and reuse them, and they can use them across marketing campaigns. Same product images across marketing, across TikTok, across images, across email campaigns, all those kind of things, right? Builds loyalty. Same brand, same imagery, same trust, same color scheme, same tone of voice. Sometimes that seems like table stakes, and you go, why is this guy talking about this? This was an early 2000s thing. A lot of customers still aren't doing it, can't do it, haven't got that integrated process, yeah? And again, millions of products. This shows an example of someone actually changing an image background and text in the real time. So this is a customer hitting this website, and the text on top of the image is actually being driven by an insight we know from the customer. Got the profile, got what they've done, know their history, know what kind of segment they're in. We will regenerate that image on the fly and surface it on the front end in an effort to convert them more easily. Here's a little generative again, prompt-based, right? This is Adobe Express, part of AEM Assets, comes with the product. I'm putting in a prompt, I'm selecting an area. This is an area I want to change. So this is the changeable area. Don't want to change the product. Product's a real thing. Don't mess with the product, because it's real. And then we're just going to generate some leaves. Just simple examples of how you can generate different things in business-based controls. This is all done there. And there's guardrails around this. So if you're on brand and you've got a marketing team that control the tone of voice and the imagery, you can set those guardrails up so that random merchandisers can't go off-piste and start creating completely different branding and things, because you don't want that, right? Just a simple example, published into a commerce storefront in minutes. Super quick, super flexible. And again, AI optimization, right? This is flashing at me, but I think we started late, so I'm going to carry on. Why not? No doubt I'll get kicked off in a second. But again, how do I know what's working and what's not working? How do I have an AI service that's looking at my storefront and telling me performance on this page is down here, or this area of this page isn't working, or there's a technical issue? So that's embedded in the product, so that not only can you launch with a high-performance storefront with personalization driven, but you can stay there. Because the last thing you want to do is 6 months down the line find out your performance has fallen off a cliff, and suddenly your conversion funnel is now struggling. So that's quite key to that. I'm going to touch on the catalog before I wrap up. We started, again, saw this earlier, the catalog was a relational database in the product, and then we built a SaaS service that was just 10 times faster. That was our catalog service version 1. And the problem there was everyone went, we're going headless or we're going composable, and there's more APIs moving around. And from an architectural point of view, more APIs means you need to have faster, it's the information highway, right? That's great, but it means your database needs to be able to support that more quickly. So 2020, 2023 was catalog service version 1. An AWS cache layer, all it did really was make things 10 times faster. If you're not already using that on your Adobe Commerce platform, you should be. It's free to you, it's part of your contract. If you don't have that now, go and raise a support ticket and get it, because it's amazing, and it's just literally 10 times quicker. What we've done now is create this new composable catalog data model. Catalog service version 2. It's the same speed as version 1, but it massively explodes what we can do in terms of size and scale and volume. So we're up to 250 million products live in an environment. So that's quite a significant jump on some of the competition and some of our previous numbers. 250 million SKUs in one catalog, one instance, not several catalogs distributed. 30,000 prices per SKU. We've got customers updating millions of products in real time, streaming over APIs. That's live right now. So again, catalog syndication and personalized pricing, and again, across B2B and B2C in one model, key to the heart of how we've redesigned this catalog. And again, this came from 2 or 3 customers across last year. We're bringing this to life with a real example. This is a real customer with 600 dealerships. 600 doesn't fit on a slide, so I've done 3. Yeah? 3 brands, ABC. And we won't go into too much detail, but effectively, what it allows you to do is take your catalog and create views across it. So I want specific views on specific products. In this case, my 600 dealers want to be able to, quite a simple requirement, they want to be able to only show the products that are for sale in that dealership. And I don't want to duplicate them, because I can quite easily say, right, I've got 1 million products and I've got 600 dealers. That's 600 million products. Well, that's crazy. That's just explosion of data. Suddenly, the cost of ownership on our data has gone through the roof. I've got to shift 600 million records. If I want to do merchandising or prereqs, or I want to optimize them in a certain way, now that's a massive database. So duplication is bad. What we've done here is a completely different model for this. Yeah? So now, instead of 20 million SKUs, it's only 6. And instead of time to launch in weeks, it's hours. And now you could only really support that in a relational database for less than 1,000 prices per SKU. Now it's 30,000 per product. And for reference, this is Toyota, North America, 600 dealers. They all go to one site, they log in, totally different catalog, each dealership. They can control, at a granular level, exactly what each dealership is able to access in the catalog. And there's other companies doing bigger things than that with the SKUs. We got to 250 million and got bored testing, to be honest. And we went, let's find a customer that wants to go higher than that. You can go higher if you optimize it further. We just haven't got there yet. So I'd love for you to want to come up to me and go, hey, we've got a customer that needs more than that. Even some of the big ones, there's a big B2B customer in the UK working right now who tells us they've got 2 billion SKUs. They don't have 2 billion SKUs. They've got just under 1 billion. They've just got a lot of duplication. And they're talking about bundles and bundles of bundles, which is where we're going next. So I used a pizza analogy recently. Got 3 pizzas. That's a bundle. Pizza is 1 product. 2 pizzas, 3 pizzas. There's a bundle of bundles. All the ingredients on top, additional ones. You start to scale out how you do this with products. It's really exciting stuff, and that's the next release coming for this, bundles and bundles and bundles. I'll wrap it up with a couple of little more friendly slides. You see site performance and search. There's an admin panel, so as an administrator, you can see where you're importing data from, multiple sources, again, CRMs, PIMs, other sources. You bring that data in, you manage it, you merchandise it, you can see click-through rates, you can see the impressions. So it's got very good granular administrative data and granular merchandising data. Merchandisers are on the hook for the brand, right? They're on the hook for that revenue. They want to know what's going on with their brand, with their position. So we're giving them information that matches that storefront experience. It's quite a long video here showing you those different views on a catalog. We're going to skip that. If you want to see it, come speak to me afterwards. We'll have a look. But effectively, shows you how it works. At a simpler level, want to go live in multi-region? Now, this is one of the key things we talk about in Adobe Commerce all the time. Very quick and easy to go live in a second region. This was USA and Canada as 2 examples, and then with the whole relationship thing going on now, I had to change it, because no one in USA is going live in Canada anymore, because no one in Canada is buying your stuff. So it's USA and United Kingdom. But if you want to go live in the UK, take brand A and brand D, and you can just basically say, I want a view on them for another country. And then you can apply a separate price book. We did that in a lab in Barcelona. It takes about an hour. Suddenly you've got a new storefront in a new country. You can personalize the front end. We're all about growth. If you want one store in one country, then Adobe Commerce probably isn't the right fit for you openly, unless it's a massive one, right? Because it's scale. You want 10 stores, 10 countries, 10 regions, different business models. That's exactly what this is for. Clickable growth that you can do within days, and you're live, you're ready to go. With very little duplication, right? That's the whole point. So again, it's all about bundles and expansion without avoiding, no duplication. We're not looking at duplicating those catalogs. So super easy. Once you add in merchandising services, for personalization, additional revenue, use cases, intelligent faceting, B2B multi-friendly language. Live search now is in 37 languages. Interestingly, I had a study recently, results as you type. Who prefers, you're in a search engine, you type, and as you start typing, the results start appearing? Anyone like that method? Yeah? Some people prefer, as you type, you hit a button. Turns out that the younger generation do not want real-time changing results as you type. It annoys them. And we'd spent a long time building a whole marketing plan. Oh yeah, as you type, it starts filling up. Now the youth, I think 25 and under, they hate that. They don't want that. That's not the experience they're looking for. Oh, my marketing plan's gone to waste. Damn the youth. And but so we had to change that whole thing, right? But again, it will do results as you type. If you want it, you can turn it off. That's not a problem. But you never know what those customer behaviors are until you pay an agency to go talk to young people. Because if you try it, it's just creepy. But again, product recommendations, right? Again, so different behaviors, different reporting, control with merchandising rules. So these are all in the product. These are all ready to go. For developers, development houses in the room, and software developers, we've really lent in, probably harder than any other product. We've developed a load of integrations. So between Commerce Optimizer and Salesforce, Commerce Tool, Shopify, Shopware, Spryker, all the different ones, there are plug-and-play connections. Now, they don't do 100% of what you need, because you can't do that. They're a solid starting point for a partner to then go, what's the extension? How do I extend that connectivity? How do I take that out-of-the-box connection and then build in the things that a customer has customized? So they're a jump-on point. We've also developed the SDK. So the SDK we used to build those integrations is available to you online. So this is all about driving the business that you have with your customers to go, we can integrate into anything in a repeatable, standard fashion. And none of this should be new and cutting edge, because we want a portfolio of connections for existing vendors. The SDK works really well with custom builds. So again, you've got a commerce solution that is completely homegrown. SDK is the way to go. And that's the same for the storefront. Our boilerplate is available to you right now, has been for about a year. You can search for that on GitHub, go download it, it's free, right? Plug it into a sandbox or a test environment. It will just run at 100. You can gain, it looks kind of bland, because it's supposed to be bland. It's an environment for you to start running a storefront. And the drop-ins. Drop-ins are commerce objects. PLP, PDP, cart, shopping, checkout. A drop-in is an object that sits in Edge Delivery, and it's your POP, and it will connect via APIs to the back end. So it's an accelerator to get your commerce content into the storefront quickly and easily. It's then up to you to go, then, well, actually, what is a customer really looking for? So this doesn't take away from partner services. It just gives you acceleration and tools to better do it. And again, app build and API mesh. Build anything you want. It's all in the tool. Do you know JavaScript? Do you know Node.js? Can you host stuff in the cloud? That's all you need to do. And my colleague John may be on stage now talking about the same thing in the other session. But this is all about giving developers, empowering them for the content they need to be able to do those things. Because that's what we need, right? We need developers to lean in, build those things, and integrate, because it's an integrated world. Commerce is the most integrated Adobe product there is. So giving everyone a nice, standard, reusable set of tools to do that is key. All that's online now and documented in the Experience League. So if you've got any questions, come speak to the team. If you think, hey, I've got another interesting idea about Optimizer, come speak to me, because I'm always interested. That first slide, the 5 use cases, there was only 3 of those in February. Talking to people, such as yourself, there's 2 more. 2 more whole new go-to-market motions that we've developed content and strategy around, because we've got feedback from what's going on with customers. And that's key. We'll only work on this together by seeing what you're doing as a business and seeing how it drives value for you. I will hand over at that point. I don't know how over I am, but I know there's 2 more speakers coming. But thank you for your time. Much appreciated. Cheers.